Hey guys, it's Katie from Homegrown Passion, and today we're finally bringing our chicken coop back to life. We call it the Chick-Inn. We found all the old parts in the barn, a bit rusty, and we're giving it a full rebuild for our baby broilers I just picked up, plus a fresh coat of paint once it's up. So let's get started. So I think most of the chicken parts are in this pile. I know there's a few more pieces out in the main part of the barn, but this barn is a total disaster. I had 3 spring calves get out, and they decided to come in here and destroy everything and make a big mess for me. So besides putting the chicken together, I got cleanup to do in the barn. So I know some of these pipes are for a big party tent that we have, so I'm gonna have to go through and measure the pieces to make sure I get the right ones for the chicken.
I probably should have found a pallet and used the skidster to move all these parts closer to my building site. But when I get a project in my head, I just can't sit still. Dragging this whole chicken frame across the grass without a pallet wasn't my brightest idea. But hey, at least I got a good workout for the day. Do you ever do something the hard way just because you're stubborn? Yeah, me too. Once I had everything dragged out, I needed to sort the frame pieces so I wasn't scrambling later. Corners, straight pipes, roof arches, every pile has its purpose. Trust me, when it's time to build, knowing where everything is will save you a ton of headache. And a few extra trips across the yard.
So this thing is like a big puzzle. But if you don't put it together right, your chickens aren't going to have a home. So each piece slides in really easily. They have these eye bolts that originally came with it, you screw in, but a lot of them are rusted and won't twist anymore. So we're going to use Tek screws to hold the whole frame together. Okay, let me go get some legs. So I call these legs right now because it's holding up the frame, but they're actually the rafters. Oops, let's straighten this up. Okay.
Once the roof was up, I started laying out all the sidewall connectors, one at the base of each rafter. That way, when it's time to install the uprights, I'm not running back and forth to grab the pieces. A little planning goes a long way when you're doing the job solo.
So we got most of the frame up. It's a little rusty, but it's still really solid, except there's one little issue up there. One of the rafters, I'm not sure what happened, but he really got bent. So I'm not going to be able to use them, so I'm going to have to get a new one. So the plan is to anchor the chick in and the same line as my laying hen coop. And it's a really good spot in the farm for both of these guys because there's lots of trees and it gets really shady early in the day. I transplanted that black walnut tree 25 years ago. And when I put him in the hole, he was maybe as tall as I am. And now look at him, he's huge. I didn't film any of this, but we put up the metal screening and we used clamps with carriage bolts. And it was a little pain in the butt to do, so that's why I didn't do the filming. But this is the piece here that goes across the back. And this works out really well because there's a tent cover that goes over the chicken. And you'll see that in a little bit. And the sides roll up. So when the sides are rolled up, you don't have to worry about any predators getting in and attacking your chickens. So after we got all the legs put into place, we noticed it was a little wonky. That wasn't square. So we ended up using a strap from that corner down to the leg over here to get it all buttoned up. So when we put the Tek screws in, it was all nice and even and square. So a major component of this chicken is the door, the man door, because I'm going to be going in and out of that every day. Well, when we pulled out the pieces, this guy looked a little rusty. And I noticed in the catalog for my greenhouse supply company that they had this exact same square stock available. So when we went down there, they were really nice and they cut it to size for me so we didn't have to bring a Sawzall because it comes in 24-foot lengths. And so now I'm going to do a whole brand new door frame so I don't have to worry about it. Went to put the back wire fence up and it's like, wait, it's not fitting. It's short. It's 6 inches short. And then I remembered years ago, because we weren't using the chicken coop, I needed a little piece of wire to go around my main wooden chicken coop, and I cut 6 inches off. So I found that piece, and now I'm taking a wire, and I'm going to wire it back together so it stays nice and strong. I can button this thing up again.
Okay, here's where the little piece of wire fence was. Funny, I remember exactly where I left it. I needed it. I used it a few years ago to patch a hole in our older chicken coop. Those hens were escape artists. Luckily, I never tossed it. Now it's getting used again to make this build right. And that's the last of the wire clamps. This section's all buttoned up, nice and secure. One step closer to moving the birds in.
Well, I'm going to call it an evening on the chicken rebuild. I need to do my evening chores and the sun is starting to set. So tomorrow morning, I'll be right back at it. Well, this job was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be, weaving the wire back and forth to connect the piece I'd cut off years ago, and still don't know why I did that. And just kind of weaving both sides. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I don't think any raccoon's going to be able to get in. And once I get this completed, I'll put up the rest of the braces to keep everything connected to the legs. Nice and snug and tight. There, one more to do. Put a little bit tighter with the pliers. Oops, hear the ladies in the background. There, that's better. Okay. They sound like they're laughing in there. It makes me want to laugh. Just want to wrap it around a couple more times to end it, and then I'll be done. Okay, go get the wire cutters and get that little piece snipped off and move on. In order to install the door, we needed to find out exactly where it needed to go, because when we originally set up the chicken, we had cut the canvas and we needed to make sure that we put the door in the exact same place because everything all bolts together. So I laid out all the pieces, not as dirty and bad as I thought, and I only found one mouse hole, so that's a good thing. Got the end wall installed, so come on over here and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the end wall. Like I said, it's pretty dirty, but I'll be able to hose it off or get the power washer. Here's the door frame. I do have a brand new piece of polycarbonate, and now it's given me an idea of exactly where the door needs to go on our new sill plate, 6x6 that we found. That's going to work out perfect. And then inside, we put together the actual frame that's going to hold the door and have the hinges on it. So come on in, I'll show you that part. Okay, so here are the pieces that we bought from the Greenhouse Supply Company. They cut them to the exact length that we needed. We put the header across and used L brackets with Tech screws to keep them all in place. So tomorrow morning, we're going to have to cut off a little bit of our square stock because of the sill plate that we put down, and then we'll get it bolted to the frame, take the end wall down because we're going to paint this whole thing. So I'll see you guys in the morning.
This is what happens when the brush gets away from me. But I promise, the coop's cleaner than I am. Okay, so maybe I'm not the world's neatest painter, but hey, a little paint on the legs never hurt anyone. Besides, messy is kind of cute, right? I laid everything out before we started the final build. Roof tarp, sides, and back panel. It's easier to spot tears, check the grommets, and make sure we've got everything before we start tying it all down. Plus, it just feels good to see it all spread out and ready to go. I probably should have brought a second pair of hands, but I manage bigger projects on my own. This last bit of wire, just to make sure the door frame sits exactly where it should be. I'd rather take a few extra seconds now than fight with a crooked door later. A little nudge here, a little tuck there, and it lines up just right. I'll admit, I'm a little picky when it comes to straight lines, but trust me, it pays off when everything clicks together on the first try. I didn't film pulling the tarp over. It was pretty simple. I just took a ladder and a little patience to work it up and over the frame. Now I'm just making the final adjustments, pulling it tight so everything lines up clean before we start tying it down. It's not fancy, but it works. A little stretch, a little tug, and she's right where she needs to be. Now that the roof tarp is in place, I'm wrapping these side flaps around the pipe frame and locking them down with aluminum clip. This step might not look very exciting, but it's one of the most important. When these flaps are tight and clipped all the way around, they keep out the wind, rain, and anything that might want to sneak in after dark. We've had our share of raccoons and foxes around here. So locking this down right means peace of mind once the birds move in. I like knowing everything is sealed up snug. No surprises, no gaps, no drama. I know, me reading the manual, but I like to make sure I'm doing it right, especially when it involves tight clips and the flaps. Getting these clips seated tight takes a little finesse and a few good whacks with a dead blow. I keep checking the tarp to make sure it lines up just right. I'm not going to lie. This part's a little loud, but it's worth it when everything hugs the frame like it should. I don't mind making a little noise, especially when it means getting things locked in nice and snug.
Oh, we almost got this done. Got the roof on. Next thing I need to do is ratchet it down. There's a strap that goes all the way across over the peak to the other side, and that holds the top tent part on really nice and secure. So I got to go over and do the other side. So surprised these ratchets aren't rusty. They still work pretty good. Let's see. Looks like it's coming up. Huh? Getting nice and tight for me. And even on each side. I think that's going to do it. Well, I'm a little bit embarrassed how dirty the chicken is, but it's been in storage in the barn for the past 15 years, and it really got me dirty. I am going to power wash it, but I can't do it right now because I have the chicks ready to go inside and start growing. But in between batches, I'm definitely going to get my power washer over here and just get this thing all nice and clean again. And I imagine if we get a couple good thunderstorms and a hard rain, it'll clean a lot of this dirt off. So this pole is for my roll-up side. Make sure I don't hit anything. Runs the length of the side. There's a little pocket it goes into, so I need to feed it in. And then it has this really nice little handle that I roll it up and put it like that, and it holds the side up for me so the chicken gets lots of air. Okay, let's see. Here's the pockets. Once I get it started, it should push in really easily. As long as I keep it straight. Yeah, that looks good.
Just sliding the bottom tube into the pocket here. It's what keeps the door weighted so it rolls up nice and smooth.
So now you have to install the clips onto the pole. We just put in the pocket so it doesn't spin around inside and rolls it up.
Sliding the tube in is the easy part. Getting everything lined up just right, that takes a little touch.
Okay. Whoever thought of this was a genius. Then stays right up.
I'm stapling the bottom edge of the wire fencing to the wooden sill plates with galvanized staples. This helps lock everything in place so predators can't push under the frame and sneak inside. It's a small detail, but honestly, it's one of the most important parts of keeping the flock safe. Once it's in, nothing's going to go through the bottom edge. Strong, snug, and not going anywhere. Just how I like it. These ground acres are the screw-in type, so I tapped them into the soil a few inches to get them started, then using a big concrete stake through the eye to twist them down. The stake's just the right side to give me leverage while pushing and turning at the same time. It takes a little muscle, but it bites in quick once you get the right angle. I'm not saying it's my favorite tool, but it sure does feel good when it's locked in nice and tight.
Well, we got the new polycarbonate on the door, and we did it a little different than what it was originally. And we had these nice fasteners, that's a nice little groove that we were able to hook to the door and slid the polycarbonate right up. And then there's a top piece and a bottom piece to hold it in place. So Doug brought me up a big round bale of straw. Now I'm going to take it and use it as bedding and put it all around inside the chicken. Oh, it's one big piece here.
I'm forking off a few flakes of straw from this round bale to spread inside the coop for bedding. It's not fancy, but it's soft, dry, and the birds love it. Keeps things clean and gives them something cozy to scratch in around. I probably could have asked for help, but sometimes it's more satisfying doing it myself.
Now let me see how much I have inside and if I need any more. Don't want to put it down too thick because the chicks aren't super big. Just a couple more layers and that should do it. Well, I'm taking a little bit of extra precaution because we have so many raccoons because of the river and all the creeks that I want to make sure nobody can get into the chicken coop. I know it's pretty safe now, but we already have the electric around the laying hens coop, so I'm just going to run a temporary wire around the whole thing so don't have to worry. The electric fence low to the ground works really well because I have it around my high tunnel and it keeps all the raccoons from getting my strawberries. Well, we got the chicken done just in time. The broilers are ready to move in. Got a nice layer of straw down and I had some leftover shavings, so I'm going to throw those on top so they have a really nice soft bed. So I know the broilers are really going to love this nice big new space for them.
After the straw's down, I like to add a thick layer of pine shavings. It makes the coop extra soft and helps absorb moisture so the birds stay clean and dry. It might seem like a small step, but when they're little, comfort matters. And clean bedding keeps them healthier and happier as they grow. Plus, I like knowing they've got something nice to settle into on their first night in the chicken.
Boy, these bags are really compact. And there are way more shavings in there than I thought, which is good for the chickens. And I got their big feeder in place, so I'm going to fill that up next. They always seem to congregate back in corners, so make sure I put a lot of shavings down. And we're supposed to get really cold tonight, I think like down in the 40s. And so I'm going to take these zippers, undo it, and drop the back curtain down so it'll be nice and toasty warm. So I know once the chicks get in here, they're going to spread the shavings all over the place, so I don't need to worry about that. So this feeder is really nice. I've had it for quite a few years, and it holds 50 pounds of feed in one shot. Oh, they're just putting their leftovers in right now. And so this way they have free choice of food, so they grow up really big. And I don't have to worry about filling it up all the time. And if you noticed, it has this nice little bell, goes on top, and it keeps them from roosting inside the feed and keeping all their poop out of it. So here are my chicks all ready to move into the chicken. There's 32 of them in this crate because they're small enough, so I was able to fit them all in. And they all have their true feathers, so they're definitely going to be able to handle any type of weather, but I'm still going to close the back. And the breed that I have, I don't have the white Cornish, I have Rainbow Rangers. I've been raising these for the past few years. They're more of a heritage type breed, and they look really pretty, and they don't grow as fast as the broilers, the white ones, and they're such a good flavor, but it takes them a lot longer to grow. You butcher them anywhere between 9 and 11 weeks. Okay, ready to release your 32 chicks to their new home. You guys gonna hop out, or do I have to take you out one by one? I guess I'm gonna have to take you guys out. You're number one. There you go. What do you think? Yeah, let's give you a buddy. They make so much noise. They're so funny. There they go. Go on, guys. Go explore. Want some more buddies to go with you? Okay. There you go. Come on, guys. Come here. Now you get lots of room to run around. Come here. This little guy jumped out by himself. Put you over there. Boy, Well, everybody's making noise. The chickens, the bull, Kian the dog. They're so warm when you pick them up. Look how cute they are. Go on, little guys. It's amazing how fast they grow. There you go. Come on out. Okay, easy. There we go. Yep. Come on. There you go. Come on, guys. Come on over here so I can get you. Oh, look at that. Didn't take them long to find the food. You know, it's a great feeling to reuse and repurpose, especially when you know it's making a big difference on the farm. Hey guys, thanks for joining me on this build. I'm so excited to show you how the chicken holds up and how the chickens grow. And stay tuned for more poultry projects because there's going to be some on the way. Now make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the bell so you get all the notifications so you don't miss what's coming up on Homegrown Passion. And we'll see you guys next video.
What is that?